Well, we will get started. We're actually going to start on the ground. We're going to start on our hands and knees tonight. So I'll give you all a chance to get sorted and situated. Take your time to arrive. And then you'll place your palms on the mat below you, shoulders over your wrists, hips over your heels. Maybe move from side to side just a second. Kind of gently paw into the earth. Start to make a connection with your mat. And then we'll move through a few rounds of Malasana and warm up our spine. On an inhale, lower your rib cage, reach your heart forward for cow pose. Exhale, press your hands down, draw your abdomen up to your spine, tuck your chin, cat pose. Inhale, use your back to lengthen out, reach your heart forward, hands pull energetically towards your knees. Exhale, press down into your hands, down and forward to help broaden the space behind your heart. Keep moving, matching breath and movement through cat and cow, checking in with your hips and shoulders and spine. Couple more breaths here. Then we'll start to add in a little bit of a kind of experiment with some different rhythms. So you might want to tuck your toes, send your hips to the back right corner of your mat, circle across the backs of your heels over to the left, up towards the left shoulder, and then moving the weight into the right hand. You can continue taking these big circles of your hips, stretching into your shoulders, experimenting with different rhythms and shapes. If you haven't already, we'll switch sides, go towards the left, back down towards your right, move back towards the front of your mat, articulating your spine in every direction. Eventually, you'll come back to the top, find yourself in neutral, and then take your hands, just one handprint forward. I'm going to turn towards the camera to do this. So the next thing you'll do is reach your right hand towards the top left corner of your mat, and then press your right wrist into the mat as you drag it back towards you. So you're lowering your right shoulder down. Pull your right hand back, sweep back, up and over like you're swimming. Exhale, press your right wrist down, right shoulder drops. Inhale, up and over. Let's feel that one more time. Drag back towards you, and then reach up and over. Plant your left hand. We'll do the other side. Left hand reaches for the top right hand corner. Hips move back, pull your left hand in, reach back, broaden across your collarbones, and then again, cycling back and forth. Really fluid movements, feeling some light stretch across our side body. Last time, pull your hand back in. Press down into your left hand, reach your right hand up, and then place your right hand back down on the mat. Now we'll find downward dog. So take your hands again, one handprint forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Bend one knee and then the other, moving fluidly, trying to soften some of the edges of our day. Shifting weight into one foot and the other, seeing where your hips might feel some tightness. And then bring both of your heels up over your toes. Take your heels over to the right. So you're getting a big side body stretch here. Maybe bend your knees slightly, pointing towards the left side of your mat. Perhaps your left hand comes to its fingertips and reaches a little bit further away. And then come back through center, heels to the left. Knees maybe bend slightly towards the right, and right hand walks a little bit forward. Breathe into your right body, right side body. Come back to center, heels over your toes. Lift your heels over your toes. Draw your chin towards your chest. Broaden the space behind your heart like we do in cat pose, and wave forward into plank. Pause just long enough to feel the strength engage, reach through the crown of your head, out through your heels, and then elbows point back. Use your legs as brakes, lower all the way down to the mat. We'll take 3 rounds of Cobra. And this first one will just be a kind of a baby Cobra. So loop your shoulders, use your back muscles, peel yourself off the mat just a few inches, and release. To add a little fluidity to our Cobra, we'll take Sahaja Bhujangasana. So lead with your left shoulder, kind of take a look behind you, back to the front, and then left shoulder leads on the way back down, come back to the earth. Do that again with the other side. Lead with the right shoulder, back to center, and then move fluidly down. Let's peel up one more time in regular Cobra. Loop your shoulders, reach your heart forward, press into your fingertips, come up for a big breath of fresh air, and then release back down to the mat. Hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, and through plank or knee plank or even child's pose, make your way to downward dog. So tonight's yin yang practice will have its bits of yin and its bits of yang. So I promise to keep all that balanced for everyone. Pressing equally into both of your hands, which are wider than your shoulders, hands turned out just slightly so that your pointer finger is aligned with the outside edges of your mat. On your inhale, reach your right leg straight back, reaching all the way from navel to heel. Exhale, pull your knee in towards your chest, lift from center, shift forward, place your right foot next to your right hand. Plant your left heel down so you're in heel to heel alignment. Bend your front knee, sweep your hands down and forward, reach your hands over your head, seal your palms together, and exhale, bow forward, hinging from your hips. Square your hips to the front of the mat, seal your palms, and step slowly with control back into plank. And then through plank or even knee plank, exhale all the way down. Fingertips press down into the earth. Take super cobra, shoulders loop, heart reaches forward, feet press down and back, and release. Hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, back to downward dog. Left leg, lead with your breath. Reach out through your heel, from heel to the crown of your head. And exhale, knee through center, foot to thumb. Pivot your right heel down, so heel to heels, setting up for Virabhadrasana 1. Press down into the earth, press your feet down and apart. Inhale, hands up, and exhale through midline, back to the earth. Square your hips and step back into plank. Elbows point straight back as you return to the mat. Loop your shoulders, keep the back of your neck long through cobra, and melt back down. Hands underneath your shoulders and back to downward dog. Inhale, right leg, reach back. Exhale, draw your knee into center, place your foot next to your thumb. Set up again for warrior one. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. This time, as you exhale, sweep your hands back, pinkies lead, right shoulder on the inside of right leg. Inhale to keep your keep your right foot pressing down and forward, hands over your head. And exhale through midline, dive back down and step into plank. Press into your fingertips as you make your way back to the mat. Peel yourself off, really make this liberating. Move fluidly. And balance, ease with effort. Press up through plank or knee plank, back to downward dog. Left leg, inhale, reach back. Exhale, bring your foot to your thumb. Ground your back heel. Press down, reach your arms above your head. Pinkies lead, heart reaches forward. Anchor the back foot into the mat. Bow forward, look back. And then use your strong center to rise back up. Hands reach towards the sky. Palms together, hinge from your hips. Palms to the earth and step into plank. Pull your belly button to spine as you lower down. Shoulder blades draw together, collarbones open in cobra. Tuck your toes, strong legs and arms through plank to downward dog. All right, inhale, reach your right leg back. Exhale, draw your knee in, lift from center as you place your foot next to your thumb. Ground your back heel, arms sweep forward, breathe up. Exhale, long spine as you dive forward, right shoulder on the inside of right knee. Inhale, keep your right knee moving forward as you lift your arms over your head. And exhale, return palms to mat. Step back into plank and exhale, lower down. Move like Mercury through cobra. And then gas turns back on, a little more strength through plank to downward dog. Left side, inhale, reach your left heel back. Exhale, knee through center, foot to thumb. Back heel lowers. Press down, rise up, broaden across your collarbones. And then keep your spine long as you dive forward. Hands reach up over your head, look to the back of the mat, and then peel yourself off. Palms together, exhale, bow forward. Square your hips, step into plank. Exhale, lower down. Cobra pose. And then instead of downward dog, we'll meet in child's pose. You can sit back on your heels. Maybe your knees are wide. You kind of find what's most comfortable for you today. Hands could be in front of you or behind you. Whatever feels the most natural for you. Just pay attention to your breath, its own natural rhythms, ebbs and flows. Let your breath be an anchor, keeping you in the present moment. And even when the conditions get a little bit choppy, you know that you can come back to this central point, your breath. It's always there for you. From child's pose, come back into all fours. Do a little twist action here. Hips over your knees, press down into your right hand, sweep your left hand up into the air, and then exhale, sweep your left hand underneath you. Reach your left hand to the side, so the back of your left hand is on the earth. And then maybe you walk your right hand forward, but keep pressing the top of your left hand down. And press your fingertips of your right hand down and forward. You might feel this in your bicep. You may notice that your hips have leaned over to the right. Possibly move your right hip back in space. And then walk your right hand back and we'll open up. Inhale your left arm open to the sky. Exhale back down to the earth, and we'll go to the other side. Reach your right hand up. Exhale, right hand underneath. Press down into the back of your right hand into the earth. Walk your left hand forward. Notice if your hips have gotten not really off center. I mean, a little bit isn't anything to worry about, but you just want to notice where your body is trying to help you out by preventing you from feeling sensation. It's very nice that way. And then pull your left hand your left hand back in, press down to your grounded hand, reach up through your right, and place your right hand back down on the mat. Tuck your toes, lift your hips back and up into downward dog. Take a cleansing breath if you would like. Deep inhale and exhale out your mouth. Maybe another one of those. Inhale, reach your right leg back and up. Reach your right foot up as high as you can, and then bend at your heel. Press down into your left heel, press up through your right knee. Square your shoulders to the front of the mat. Feel the expansiveness of this pose. And then exhale, draw your right knee in towards your chest. Shift forward and place your right foot between your hands. If you have your dish towel, go ahead and grab it in your right hand. Follow your left hand up and over into warrior two. Pretend as if I have a dish towel in my right hand. Follow your left hand down your back leg. Sweep your dish towel hand up and over, bend at your elbow. Now you can see why the towel is here. And then take your left hand palm facing behind you and then grab a hold of your dish towel or possibly interlace your hands. Now, what happens a lot when we're here is that we straighten our leg because we think that the most important thing we do is go back as far as we can. But the most important thing is just creating distance between your left armpit and your left hip here. So keep your front knee as bent as you can, and don't sacrifice the stability of your foundation just to try to get a little more stretch through your right side. Okay. Couple more breaths here on your own. And then your arms can come back, lengthen out, drop your towel. Straighten your front leg, turn your toes inward just slightly, and clasp your hands behind you. Actually, before we do that, I changed my mind. Take your hands to your hips and slide your fingers down your legs. Thumbs on the inside, fingertips on the outside. So we're in temple pose. You sway back and forth, Just a little bit here, feeling the groundedness of this pose, opening up through your hips. It's really luxurious. Now keep your hips low and bring your palms to your hand. This is going to feel a little bit more like the yang side of things. Now reach your right hand up and over, reach your left hand back. Inhale, both hands reach out from center, from heart to fingertips. Exhale, left hand over, right hand reaches forward. So we're sneaking in a little bit of core work at the same time as we do some very root strengtheners through our hips and into our legs. Inhale out. Exhale, reach your left hand up, right hand forward. One more time, hands come out. Pull back into your midline. Keep your hands here at center. Tune into your strength, to your strong roots. And then straighten your legs. Turn your toes towards each other. Now we'll clasp our hands behind us. Got a little ahead of myself there. Press your knuckles down, reach your heart up. Take a soft bend in your knees and exhale. Fold forward, hinging from your hips, arms come up and over. And maybe your dish towel comes in handy again here, or your strap, instead of clasping your hands. Relax your neck. Notice if the weight is in your heel or your toes. This is another place where the body likes to do us a favor. Shifting the weight towards our heels, we don't feel as much as we do if the weight's toward our toes. And even if you have that slight bend in your knees, press down and apart with your feet without moving them to help spread your hips apart. And it'll help provide a little extra stretch through the backs of your legs, even if your knees are bent. And then gently release your hands to the mat. Inhale up halfway, lengthen out. Exhale, pivot to the top of your mat. Both hands on the inside of your front foot and lower your back knee. So for low lunge here, you're welcome to keep your hands flat on the earth, or possibly you're walking your hands out as you lengthen your spine, or maybe you bring your forearms to blocks or forearms all the way down to the mat. What I really want for you to emphasize is moving your hips down and forward. And then secondly, really pay attention to where you might be gripping. Where can you invite ease? Could be your hands. Maybe there's tension building up in your jaw. Relax your eyebrows. Stay here and with your breath, noticing where your mind might wander off to if it does. And then if it does, gently shepherd it back here into this moment, back into the body breathing. Slowly walk your hands back in towards you. Bring your right knee back to meet your left. Tuck your toes. And we'll do an Ashtanga Bhujangasana here. So with your hands in front, so actually rev your hips back towards your heels, reach your arms forward, and then elbows point back, chest and chin touch, and then slide your heart forward, tops of feet press down, shoulders loop, peel yourself off the mat for cobra, exhale, melt back down. Tuck your toes, and then through plank, knee plank, or child's pose, back to downward dog. Take a breath here before we go into the left side. Lift your left leg back and up as high as you can. Press down and forward into your hands. Bend at your knee if that's okay with your body. Right heel pressing down, left knee reaching up, hips open, shoulders still strong. And then exhale, draw your left knee into center, lift as you shift forward, and place your foot directly between your hands, right underneath your nose. Ground your back heel, grab a hold of your dish towel with your left hand and follow your right hand up and over for warrior two. Hips low, broaden across your heart. And then right hand reaches down, left hand up and over, bend at your left elbow. Keep your front knee bent and then right palm faces behind you. Bend at your elbow, grab a hold of the dish towel or interlace your hands. And again, the key here being that your front knee is still really bent. Even if you don't roll back at all, that's okay. You could be just straight up, and that's fine. Secure the outside edge of your back foot into the mat. Don't lose the awareness of your foundation, of your strong foundation here. Notice if your hips have lifted any, re-engage. Just a couple more breaths. Gaze could be anywhere that it's comfortable. I find looking up maybe the most comfortable on this side of my neck. And then stay strong through your legs. Reach your arms out to your sides. Let go of your dish towel and straighten your front leg. Turn your toes towards the side of the right side of your mat. And then find temple pose. Thumbs on the inside, shoulders up towards your ears, hips low. Dip your left shoulder in, look towards your right. Inhale, come back into center, and exhale to the other way. Inhale, round through your back, come through center. And as you lower your left shoulder and gently press your left knee away. Inhale, think cat pose as you come through middle, and then thinking cow pose as you look to the left. Let's go one more in each direction. And then after you look to the left for the last time, come back to center, bring your hands behind your head, and take your left elbow towards your left knee. Go around to the other side, elbow to knee, and then back to center. We'll do two more in this direction, so stay with me. Use your obliques to come back into the middle. One more, elbow to knee, get turned towards the earth, other elbow to knee, and back to center. Just three more on the other side. You've got this. Turn towards the earth, touch knee to elbow, back to center. I promise we'll get to our longer holds portion very soon, and you will have well earned it. Last time, elbow to knee, center. Come back, release your arms, straighten your legs, Ooh. Turn your toes in, float your arms above your head, and then elbow or knees slightly bent, dive forward, hands to the earth. Bend your left knee a lot and walk your hands to your right leg. They can either grab the outside of your right shin, or perhaps they grab the outer edge of your right foot and your fingers are underneath your foot. Either one is okay. Your left toes are pointed slightly forward, and then you lean all of your weight into your front knee. So this should feel like a big side stretch on your left side, or maybe you feel it on the inside of your right leg. You really want to lean, as if you let go, you would possibly just collapse. Gaze underneath your left armpit, slightly opening up your left rib cage. And then come back to center. Straighten your front leg, hands through the middle. Turn your toes in. Inhale, lengthen out. And exhale, fold. Knees slightly bent here. Keep your hands where they are. Just lengthen out. Exhale, fold, and we'll now take that same Parsva Prasarita on the other side. So bend your right knee a lot. Right foot will have to shift a little to point in the same direction as your knee. Walk your hands over towards your left shin or the outside of your left foot. Right knee bends a lot. Gaze underneath your right armpit, right ribs turning upwards. And really pull so that spaciousness is activated on your right side. Straighten your back leg. Walk your hands back into center. Inhale out, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, fold forward, slightly bent knees, and then walk your hands to the front of the mat. Left hand on the inside of your left foot, lower your back knee down, and we'll take low lunge options on this side. So hips are moving down and forward. Hands can be right here underneath your shoulders. Same options, hands walk forward, or using that same down and forward action to bring your elbows and forearms down to the mat. So we'll be here for about a minute. Find something that you can stay with comfortably enough. Maybe it's not a bubble bath level of comfort, but you don't want to try to grit your teeth through it. Somewhere in between a bubble bath and the dentist. Check in with your grip and jaw, the muscles in your face. See what you can let go in these next few breaths. Begin to walk your hands back in towards you if your arms were down. Shift your hips back as you bring your left knee to meet your right. Tuck your toes. Send your hips towards your heels. Gaze forward. Slide forward, chest and shin. And then heart reaches forward. Peel yourself up. Press down and back into your feet. And release. Tuck your toes through child's pose, plank or knee plank, back to downward dog. From downward dog, walk your feet to the top of the mat. Take your thumbs into your hips, lengthen out through your spine, and then come to standing. Now take your feet wider than your hips, maybe about as wide as your mat. You want to churn out 45 degrees or so. Find a soft bend in your knees so you've got a little bit of buoyancy here, but not too much work in your legs, just enough so that you're not locking your legs. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. Exhale, bring your hands through center, and now bend your knees enough to where you're feeling a little bit of activation here. Keep your hips low, reach your arms up and over, and then exhale your hands down to the mat. Gaze stays forward, spine is long. Inhale, press down, straighten your legs all the way, hands over your head and through center. We'll do this a couple more times. Arms reach out, expand, draw breath in. Exhale, pull through midline, lower your hips. Inhale, out and up. Exhale, long spine, fingertips to the earth. Look forward to keep the length. Inhale, press down, reach up. Back to heart center. One more time, moving through this Kriya. Exhale. Reach your arms out, draw breath in, expand. Exhale, hips low, gaze forward, long spine, reach your heart forward, and then press down. We'll come all the way back up to standing. Hands to your heart. And now we'll come all the way back down. We're going to work ourselves into Malasana. So reach your arms out. Just like we did, bend through your knees and your hips, bring your hands down to the earth. We'll kind of work it out a little bit, go from side to side so you're on the toes of one foot and the heels of the other. And then you can slowly start to come down a little further, still checking in with your hips. Maybe you stay here, kind of work with this for a little bit longer. Maybe you start to come into Malasana with your hands at your heart, reaching down through your hips and up through the crown of your head. If this is a lot on your knees, there are options. You could use a block. That's fine, absolutely fine. You could also take Malasana on your back. So you would press, and even if you're seated right now, we'll take this same cue of pressing knees into elbows and elbows back into knees. So I trust that you have found a space or a spot that's safe for you, in your knees and your body. Start to close down your eyes. We'll be here for an amount of time, so do find some place that you can sustain and stay present. Tap into the downward movement of energy. Keep lifting up through the crown of your head. Focus on your body breathing. As sensations start to become stronger, just notice them. Know that this is impermanent. You will not be here for the rest of your evening. Continue to broaden your awareness, take in the full spectrum of sensations, not just the one that's the loudest. Let's take 4 more breaths. Last one, deep inhale. Exhale, press your hands down. Shift the weight towards your toes. Lift your hips up so you can be in a really bent knee forward fold. Grab a hold of your elbows. Relax your neck. When I say bent knees, I mean like you're about to sit down. Sway from side to side. And then release your hands. Lengthen out halfway as you pull your hands up towards your knees. Exhale, fold forward. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands down to the earth. Last time. Use your strong back. Reach from crown of your head to hips. Exhale, fold. And then bend your knees. Come down to a seat with your feet in front of you. Roll to your back. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Take your hands over your head, elbows bent, and gently rock your knees from one side to the other. Release the tension in your lower back. And really take your time as you move your knees from one side to the other. Whatever speed you're going right now, see if you could go half as slow. Match your breath to the movement. Next time your knees pass through center, pause there, and take your feet back to hip distance apart. Reach your hands towards your feet, and on an inhale, you'll lift your hands and your hips at the same time. So your hands reach over your head and land above your head at the same time as your inhale finishes. And then exhale, sweep your hands back over towards your feet. And as your hips and hands land, your exhale finishes. Let's do that a couple more times with each cycle of breath. Fluidly moving our hands over. Exhale, releasing back down to the mat. One more time, press down to your feet, lift your hips. Inhale your arms over your head, and then exhale, hands come back down to the earth. Let your hips settle. Walk your feet towards each other so the soles of your feet come together and your knees go wide. Bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. We'll be here for maybe a couple of minutes. So if you know that this position is something that you like support underneath your knees, then go ahead, grab a couple of blocks and place them underneath your knees. Or if you don't have that, then bring your feet to the outside edges of the mat and bring your knees together. Either one is perfectly fine. You have your left hand on your heart, right hand on your belly. Just begin to notice the body breathing. Bring your attention to the physical sensations of your breath as your chest rises and falls like gentle waves in a calm ocean. Pulling away from shore and then back again. Use your breath to invite fluidity and ease. Allowing thoughts, sensations, emotions to arise and pass away into the open sea of your consciousness. As your mind gets swept away in a current of thought, gently anchor it back into your breath. Every moment that we get to catch our breath, catch ourselves thinking, is an opportunity to extend ourselves some kindness. Bring your awareness back into your physical body. Start to move your knees back and towards each other. Maybe take your knees from side to side again, checking in to see how your lower back is feeling. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers around your right shin. Extend your left leg out. And then gently guide your right knee across the midline over to the left side. Reach your right arm out from your right socket for a simple twist. Start to soften, release, and let go. Guide your knee back to center. Place your right foot on the mat. Pull your left knee up to center. Interlace your fingers around your left shin. Lengthen out through your right leg. And then guide your left knee across center for a simple twist on the other side. Left hand reaches out or wherever is comfortable for your body. Now is not the time where we're starting to look for more. We're starting to ask for less. Do less. Activating the parasympathetic nervous system that allows us to rest. Bring your knees back into center. Bring both knees up towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Rock gently from side to side. Relax through your lower back. Let your hips be heavy. Embrace the downward moving energy of Apanasana seed pose. As if you could start to grow roots, pulling in nourishment from the earth into mind and body. And release your legs out long in front of you, feet as wide as your mat, palms open to your sides for your Shavasana. We'll be here for a few minutes and I will be sure to tell you when it's time to come out. I won't leave you. without moving. Bring your awareness back into the space around you. Bring your awareness into your physical body by deepening your breath, lengthening your inhale and exhale. Take small movements with your fingers and toes, wrists, ankles. Reach your hands over your head, stretch from your fingertips to your toes. Bend at your knees, roll to one side, pause for a moment there on your side, using your bicep as a pillow. To notice this natural state of fluidity that exists within you. And use your top arm to press down into the earth. Come to a seated position at the top of your mat with your palms together at your heart. Sitting tall and dignified as you reach through the crown of your head. So much gratitude to you all for helping keep our community strong. Have some gratitude for yourselves for doing this practice, not just for you, but the people around you or the people you communicate with via Zoom. May you and all living things be safe, be happy, be healthy, and live with ease. Namaste.